while we were doing that, we were looking at the clutch release lever, and we noticed there was some wear in it, so we decided we wanted to change it. So hopefully you can sort of see there's movement in there. So what we decided to do is take the lever out and change the bushes. You can just about see one bush there, and then if I come to the inside now, and if we just move that so you can see how that lever moves to operate the clutch, and normally you'd have the release bearing sitting there, that would be pushing forward and then pushing on like the little clutch sort of spring levers, and hopefully you can see there's another little bush there. So what we're going to do is take that out and replace the bushes. Right, to do that you've got to remove this pin, but what we've done first to make sure this lever goes back on the right way, because it could get put back wrong, we put 2 dots in there for the top and 1 dot there, which we've then marked on there roughly. Yeah, you can see that, so that we know where it lines up. What I've also done is took some photos of it as well, so we've got that alignment and also in there, and that should all go back right. But it's always useful to have photos to have a look, because what we normally do is look at our other cars as a backup, but obviously you can't get inside the clutch, although you can probably see that lever just about, so that's why we've done that. First thing we're going to be doing is removing that pin that's right there. What I thought I'd show you is that what we've done is we've got that big bush that's sitting at the top, we've also got the little bush there, and we've also got that pin we're going to be knocking out. So hopefully any wear that's developed will be taken out by replacing all those parts. It's one of those things, again, perhaps it's not really bad sort of wear, but why it's all off and accessible to do, it's worth doing. And these weren't actually particularly dear in the whole scheme of things, because you never know when you look up for bushes like that, the sort of silly thing that could end up being ridiculously dear, but they weren't too bad, so we thought it was worth changing them. No, she's going, that's good. And you can see the pin is out there, so we were lucky that wasn't too bad to get out. Right, so there's the it's a spring roll pin. You can see those little slots in it there, and that's why we want to get a new pin, because they could be wearing that and it's looking a bit sort of rusty and grotty. So again, it's worthwhile we're doing all this, changing it. Right, so now the pin's out, this lever's got to come off, so we're just putting a little bit of releasant oil in to hopefully make it easier for coming off. And once that's then away, then hopefully we'll be able to lift it out that bottom bush and out and down and away. Alright, so what we're doing now is heating it up a little bit. As you can see, what we've been doing is we've got some mole grips there to hold the shaft slightly higher, and then we're banging down on there with a punch so it will push through, and what that's doing is holding it higher so it'll push back down through into there and get that off. But it's very stiff. We've used some release and spray, so we're now going to heat it up and see if that helps. Then we'll be banging it back down with the punch so it comes through and gets that lever off, hopefully. Right, so as you can see, what we've got is a puller on it now, and we're heating it up. It does seem to be moving it slowly, and we're making slow progress with it. Right, so it has now slowly started to move with that heat, and as you can see, it's sinking down, and the puller is now pulling it off. So it has worked. It just took a little bit of persistence. And that's it away. So yeah, that's it off. All we've got to do is let it cool down. That really was stuck on. So yeah, there's the puller down there, and there's the lever, and we're just letting that all cool off. and yeah, we're glad it come off. We certainly can't use that bush again because it's melted it, but that was the one we wanted to change, so lucky enough we didn't need to worry about that. And then hopefully we can get that lever out, we'll continue painting the gearbox, and then we'll be able to put those new bushes and pin in. Hopefully when we clean it all up it will go on easy, because if it's that stiff it could be a struggle getting it back on, but hopefully once we've cleaned it up it will be fine. Right, so we're just removing the old bush. That's got a little bit stuck because it got a little bit warm and melted just a little bit at the top. Now what we want to do is get this fork right the way out. So that's what we're going to do next. Then it's all out and ready for us to fit back, as I said, once we've painted the gearbox. Right, so hopefully the fork should now come out fairly easily, which it has. So that's the fork out. It make it easier for us to finish painting the gearbox. And if you have a look at the top of the fork there, you can see just how rusty and pitted it is, and that's why it probably got stuck on. So we can now clean all that up and it shouldn't be a problem getting it back on. Still a little bit warm as well. There's the bush at the bottom, which we'll get out to change with the new one as well. But what we're going to do is just leave that all down there to cool down now. And there's the bottom bush out. There you can see there's the little spring lugs that hold it in. You can see how that's probably looking a little bit worn, so it will certainly be worth us changing. It's probably more likely the top one was more worn than this one, but we've got both of them, so we will change them. I thought I'd just show you it now with it all out, because it's probably not often you get to see one of those forks come out, because normally you wouldn't be doing it, and that's where it goes in through there. And what it will do is give us a chance to clean all up in there as well, so it should all go back very nicely. Right, so as you can see, that fork's looking a little bit better now. We've got a wire brush, but it's still not quite as good as we'd like, and it's still a little bit rough to feel, so there's a little bit more to do to clean that up, but already looking a lot better. We're now going to fit back the little plastic bushes, or nylon bushes. Right, so what we're doing there is just checking that the little blue lever, the clutch lever, goes over the forks there, because you may remember that's the bit we had real trouble getting off, mainly because it had rusted. So we've cleaned that all up, as you can see now, and it definitely fits quite nicely. So that'll make things easier when we come to put it back in. Right, so we've put the fork in position, but we've also got to, of course, put in the two new bushes, top and bottom, and we've got to put this piece on with the new pin. You can see the new pin there, and it's the sort that as you push it in, it gets crushed and grips in, because you don't want that coming out. You've got the two new bushes there. Hopefully it's going to be a lot easier going back than it was coming out, but we've got to knock this pin in, so we don't really want to damage the bushes, so we're going to have to be careful with that as well. Hopefully we can find a way around getting that pin in that won't do that. So the lever's all there ready. It's now a case of putting the two new bushes in. Right, so what we're doing is we're just putting a little bit of copper grease on the bottom of the bushes, just so they go in a little bit easier. The bushes we got, the bottom one is black and the top one is white, whereas the originals, as you can see there, were both white, but that shouldn't make any difference. See quite what state they are in, although this one did get damaged when we were getting that shaft out and that heat up. And there you can see the old pin. It's a job to show, but that's been quite crushed down, but it is the same pin as the new one we've got. Right, so we're going to put the little bush in first, and you can see there's a little notch there, and there's actually a little notch on that bush, so even that will seat in the right position. Right, and that's it pushed in. As you can see, the little notch there Yeah, there we are. You can see the little notch lines up nicely. What we did was we pulled the pin out because that gave us, well, the forks with the pin on it. It just gave us a little bit more room to get that in. They didn't need to really be there. What we're going to do is just put a little bit of copper grease on the bottom of that as well. And again, we've made sure that the forks are the right way round as well, but I don't think you would be able to get that the wrong way round very easily. But it's always worth checking. And what we did do was we photographed everything. We also photographed how that lever sat, and we also put our own little marks on, because again, you wouldn't want to get that lever the wrong way round, because the way it fits, it's a pretty tight fit. It'd be like starting the job all over again if you did get it the wrong way round. So the next thing to do is to get the top bush on next. Right, so now we're going to put in the top bush, and again, you've got a little alignment mark there, and hopefully you can see on the bush itself, yeah, there's that little alignment mark there as well. Again, we're going to put a little bit of copper grease on the bush, and we'll probably put a little bit on the pin around there as well. So what we're also doing is putting that little bit of copper grease on the inside as well, while it's out.
It might go through all right, I just don't know at the moment. Oh yeah, it will do.
Right, so that's the bush on there, and all we do is probably just take away that excess copper grease that's come off. Right, so we're just cleaning the excess copper grease off, but of course we still want a little bit on the lever there. Hopefully you can see, if I bring the camera around, you can see there where that little alignment mark has gone in. Right, so we put a little bit of copper grease on the lever as well. We've got it on there as well, so hopefully it won't seize up, but then hopefully it's not something you should have to take off very often either. So we're just going to get the lever aligned up with the hole, and then we're putting that pin in. Right, so now the bushes are in, we've got the clutch forks right back against the housing there, and then we've put the lever on facing out away from this edge, so it lines up with the hole there, and that then means the lever will be able to push it back that way to disengage the clutch. As I say, we took some pictures as well as marking it to make sure it gets back in the right place, because once you've done it, you don't want to have to redo it. So what we're going to do is put the pin in, make sure it lines up with that hole, and then we'll bring the process of putting the pin properly in. Right, so we've now got it in position ready to push this bolt right in. We've just got it a little way in, so it's just catching into the main pin, and hopefully in a minute you'll be able to see the forks move with the lever, so we know that that pin is definitely in there and we're ready to push it in. And again, that's allowed us to check it is definitely in the right position, because it's one of those things I think you could very easily, when putting it back, get it wrong. It would be completely wrong, and when you know how probably even obvious, but it is very easy, I think, to do that. So we've made sure as much as we can that it is right before we push that pin in. I think it's definitely worth doing that as well. Right, so as you can see there, just moved it out a little bit so you can get a better view. But what is nice, and it's probably a job to show you, is how much better it's moving with the new bushes, and we're now happy we did do it. Right, so what we've done after we initially tapped in is we're now actually going to use a G-clamp, because getting a press in this position wouldn't be very easy, and we're just going to hopefully slowly wind it in, and that should avoid damaging any of the bushes or even damaging the pin as you're trying to bang it in. So it appears to be going in okay. As you see, we're just winding it in gently, and it's gently going in. What we did after we used the G-clamp, the last little bit got very, very tight, so what we then used is a drift. We put a hammer here on the other side that I'm now just tapping, and then we just tapped it in. We've only tapped it gently there just to sort of show you what we did, and that's then got it in as far as we want to, and that we're happy with it as well. And hopefully that hasn't damaged any of the bush. It certainly doesn't appear to, and that's what we wanted to try and achieve. Just come back around the other side of the gearbox, and as you can see now, it's all done, and the bushes are in bottom and top, and hopefully if we move it now in a minute, you'll be able to see that there is just no play there at all. The gearbox moves before you can even get any play. So yeah, we're really pleased with that, because it's the kind of job where once you started, you've got to carry on, but you never know should you have left it alone, because technically it was working. There was just a little bit of sort of play and wear, but it's turned out it all worked out all right, and there was actually a lot more play than we thought, because we wasn't sure whether there may have been even a little bit of play with new bushes, but it turns out that they were actually quite worn, so we're quite pleased we did that.